Hey y'all, I'm looking a little rough. Just left my sister at school and didn't get ready, okay? But I have a really good topic today, and that's about using our words wisely and how important your words are, and using your voice to honor God. And this was something that was preached at church this past Sunday, and I was really convicted. And sorry if I'm looking at the map trying to get back home, and it's glitchy. It's literally frozen. So hopefully I get home safely. Okay, well, this video is going to be based on James and a lot of other verses, but the ones that come to mind right now are the verses in James. If you're struggling with your tongue, James has really good stuff in there. The whole book. I really like the metaphor, or how it talks about the bit and bridle that they put in horses, and how basically that controls the whole horse. So, and I'm actually gonna have to pull over, guys, because I have no idea where I'm going, and I think making this video is kind of distracting me right now, and I do not want to get more lost than I already am. So I'm gonna fix the map, and once I know where I'm going, I will talk to you guys. Alrighty, y'all, I took a few minutes, but I'm back on track. Okay, yeah, see, I have said many times I'm not great at multitasking. I need to focus. But okay, so as I was saying, the importance of the tongue, and especially as Christians, there's this verse that is so convicting, and it talks about how we will give an account to God for every idle word spoken, good or bad. If that's not convicting, I don't know. You know, sometimes we just talk to talk, and just to fill in the empty space, and we end up just saying stuff we should not be saying. Another verse that comes to mind is, be not deceived. I only know it in Spanish, but basically something about corrupt communication, or corrupt company produces corrupt communication. And another verse that comes to mind is the one about, I'm pretty sure it's in Psalms or Proverbs, where it talks about, in many words, I am telling you, I only know it in Spanish, but in a lot of words, there's bound to be sin in there, because when you're just talking to talk, and yeah. And there's another verse where it talks about even the fool is perceived as wise when he keeps his mouth shut. So it's very easy to sin when you're just chatting it up a little too much. And something that the preacher had said on Sunday, that I was like, whoa, like, I know this, but I feel like lately, like when I was younger, I would just always keep things to myself. But as I've gotten older, I've been speaking up more, and it's not always good. Like, sometimes I feel the need to say something, even if it's not encouraging or building someone up, just because I want it to be made known, like, this is how I feel about this. And that shouldn't always be the case, you know? Sometimes it's okay to keep things to yourself, especially if they're not uplifting or encouraging people. And something that the preacher said, as I was saying, is that if you have a hammer, you can use it to build up a house, or you can also use it to break the windows. And with your words, you can either build people up and encourage them and edify, or you can discourage, you can put people down, you can even be the reason that someone sins because you led them by, you know, gossiping or stuff like that. Yeah, the way that we use our words is so important as Christians, because every time that you open your mouth, as a Christian, you represent Christ. So you can either represent him in a good way or in a not so good way. And something that I personally struggle with is like in socializing, when like I really try to be funny and I think I'm funny, but sometimes I will be just talking. Sorry, I'm telling you, I'm like really trying to get on the freeway right now and I can't focus on what I'm saying. Okay, basically what I'm trying to say is sometimes I'll try to be funny, and in trying to be funny, I say something that is probably not the most godly Christian thing to say, or I could make fun of someone. Like, I'll try to be funny at someone else's expense, and then it could lead to like someone getting hurt, you know. And this has happened, and thankfully I will say something I am good at is I will apologize. I'm quick to like know when I've said something not so good and I will apologize. Or even if I have like a bad attitude or a tone, I notice it in myself and I will apologize. But it's like, why apologize when you could have just not said that in the first place? You know what I mean? And something that I always tell my students when they're arguing about nonsense, about he said, she said, blah, 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 is I'm like, okay, would you want someone to say this to you? Is this kind? Is this true? And is it necessary? And, you know, that obviously doesn't apply in every situation, but for the most part, before you open your mouth, kind of put it through the filter, and you can't think like, okay, do I really need to say this? And a lot of times you really don't need to say some stuff, and a lot of times you can just keep it to yourself and save it for when you're praying and be like, God, did you see that? Okay. Did you see that? Because when you bring it up to someone else, it's either because you're trying to get validated for your feelings, or trying to relate, but in doing that you can lead someone else to sin because you're causing them to also gossip or to look at someone else badly. There's a song I really love. It's called You Don't Love God If You Don't Love Your Neighbor. It's by the Gilly Gals band. And the first time I heard it, I was like, whoa. Because it basically says, I won't sing it for you, but it says like, there are many people who will say they're Christians and they live like Christians on the Sabbath day, but come Monday morning till the coming Sunday, they will fight their neighbor all along the way. Then the chorus says something like, oh, you don't love God if you don't love your neighbor, if you gossip about him, if you never show mercy. And there's a bunch of other stuff, but I want to focus on the words though that we're speaking. Man. Okay guys, I'm missing all of my exits because I'm so distracted talking. See, sometimes you just gotta be quiet and focus. But basically all I want to say is use your words for good, and remember that everything you say you will be held accountable for. So if that means not being the funniest person at the party because you didn't say the joke that just was not good, then that's okay. Go live. I hope that made sense. I rambled a bit. I talked a little too much in a video that was supposed to be about not talking so much, but I hope you found something of value, and I hope you have a good day.